Renowned for its robust history as a frontier cowtown, Dodge City offers up a wide array of legends and historical narratives to travelers in western Kansas. This venerable town was once inhabited or graced by the presence of notable figures like Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Big Nose Kate, and Bat Masterson. In its heyday, this old town had a reputation for being the most wicked town in the Old West. Remember to hit the like button because it helps us a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell to not miss the upcoming interesting videos. In the year 1865, the establishment of Fort Dodge took root near the present-day location of Dodge City. This period was marked by rugged circumstances, with pioneers were often attacked by marauding Indians. The fort served a dual role, affording protection to the wagon trains against Indian assaults and serving as a hub for mail distribution and supply replenishment for troops embroiled in conflicts with the Indigenous tribes to the south. Leading this charge was Major General Greville Dodge, tasked with overseeing the 11th and 16th Kansas Cavalry Regiments. Battling the harsh winter of 1865, he undertook the daunting endeavor of restoring telegraph lines and reestablishing vital travel routes. The Indians usually refrained from attacks during the winter months. The extensive Santa Fe Trail, which stretched from Franklin, Missouri to Santa Fe, New Mexico, bore witness to countless wagon trains navigating the mountain branch westward from Dodge City along the northern banks of the Arkansas River into Colorado. Forging a swifter yet treacherous path to Santa Fe was the Cimarron Cutoff, which intersected the river near Dodge City before veering southwest toward the Cimarron River. This route posed elevated risks due to the arid stretches of waterless sandhills and increased risk of Indian attacks. Despite these perils, numerous traders and travelers favored this route, drawn by the absence of mountainous terrain and a relatively shorter distance to Santa Fe compared to the mountain route. During the year 1871, Henry L. Sittler, a rancher, undertook the construction of a modest three-room sod house situated 5 miles west of Fort Dodge. Nestled at the base of a hill along the Santa Fe Trail, Sittler's dwelling swiftly evolved into a frequented rest stop for buffalo hunters and traders traversing the trail. Reflecting on the Santa Fe Trail's bustling activity and its myriad wagon trains, Sittler would later recollect, if you stood on the hill above Dodge City, there was traffic as far as you could see 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the Santa Fe Trail. Before long, another individual, George M. Hoover, would join Sittler, crafting Dodge City's inaugural commercial establishment, a sod and board saloon. On the pivotal date of August 15, 1872, a consortium of entrepreneurs hailing from Forts Dodge, Riley, and Leavenworth in Kansas convened to establish the Dodge City Town Company and began the planning and development of the town site. At first, the settlement was named Buffalo City until they learned there was already a town by that name, so it was changed to Dodge City after the fort. In the subsequent September of 1872, the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad made its arrival in Dodge City, which would initiate tremendous growth for many years. Adjacent to the railroad tracks, hastily built frame buildings and tents sprang up. Among these sprung into existence 2 grocery and general merchandise stores, a vibrant dance hall, a restaurant, a barber shop, and a blacksmith shop. There was initially no law enforcement in the burgeoning settlement. Dodge City quickly acquired its infamous stamp of lawlessness and gunslinging. As many buffalo hunters, railroad laborers, wanderers, and soldiers streamed into the town following extensive forays across the prairie, they quickly found the saloons, resulting in inevitable altercations. With the gunfighters dying with their boots on, the establishment of the Boot Hill Cemetery in 1878 became a somber testament to Dodge City's tumultuous past. Emerging as the epicenter of the western buffalo trade, Dodge City witnessed the towering presence of buffalo hides lining a front street, awaiting onward shipment. The town became a haven for buffalo hunters and traders. However, when General William Sherman, Army Commander-in-Chief, ordered the slaughter of buffalo in order to drive the Indians onto reservations, This directive resulted in the prairie being strewn with decaying carcasses. By the spring of 1876, the cattle trade had shifted west from Ellsworth and Wichita, Kansas to Dodge City. The Longhorn cattle, driven north from Texas via the western branch of the Chisholm Trail, found their terminus at the railroad hub of Dodge City. The settlement was alive again. Over the ensuing decade, an astonishing tally of more than 5 million head of cattle were herded along the trail into Dodge City. Yet the cowboys brought even more lawlessness to Dodge City, and soon the mayor contacted Wyatt Earp, who was working as a Wichita lawman. With an alluring salary of $250 a month, a position as chief deputy marshal was offered to Wyatt. Upon his arrival, Dodge City's populace numbered 1,200, with 20 licensed liquor vendors. Marshal Larry DeGere, the latest in a series of officers who had been either expelled from the town or met their fate at the hands of Dodge City's unruly elements, welcomed Wyatt Earp wholeheartedly. Wyatt soon recruited 4 assistant deputies: Bat Masterson, a longtime buffalo hunting companion, Charlie Bassett, Bill Tillman, and Neil Brown. With a commitment to restoring order, the newly appointed lawmen took swift action by instituting a deadline along Front Street's north side, strategically separating the bustling commercial district from the city's quieter precincts. A mandate was passed on the north side prohibiting the wearing or carrying of firearms. South of this demarcation, proponents of lawlessness continued their operations unabated, with an array of saloons, brothels, and frequent gunfights dotting the landscape. The moniker Red Light District was birthed in Dodge City, inspired by train masters who toted red caboose lanterns on their visits to the town's brothels. The stringent rule of carrying firearms was enforced around the clock, resulting in immediate incarceration for those found in violation. The town's jail swiftly filled under this decree. In his capacity of chief deputy marshal, Earp embarked on a pursuit of the renowned train robber Dave Rudabaugh, tracking the outlaw's trail for a grueling 400 miles to Fort Griffin, Texas. During his sojourn, Wyatt frequented Shancy's, the town's largest saloon, inquiring about Rudabaugh. Proprietor John Shancy divulged that Rudabaugh had made an appearance earlier in the week, but remained ignorant of his subsequent whereabouts. Shancy directed Wyatt to Doc Holliday, who had engaged in card games with Rudabaugh. Wyatt was skeptical about talking to Holliday, as it was well known that Doc hated lawmen. However, when Wyatt found him that evening at Shancy's, he was surprised at Holliday's willingness to talk. Doc conveyed to Wyatt his belief that Rudabaugh had retraced his steps to Kansas. Wyatt wired this information to Bat Masterson, and the news was instrumental in apprehending Rudabaugh. An improbable camaraderie was forged between the two at Shancy's, an alliance that would endure for years. During the autumn of 1876, Wyatt Earp and his brother Morgan left Dodge City for a while, journeying to the Black Hills near Deadwood, South Dakota, in search of gold. However, Wyatt's return to Dodge City occurred in May of 1877, prompted by a wire from James H. Dog Kelly, the town's newly elected mayor. Kelly's message implored Wyatt's assistance in curbing the brutal behavior of Texas cowboys who were sowing chaos throughout the town. Upon his return, Wyatt assumed the mantle of town marshal and deputized his brother Morgan. His tenure was marked by relentless efforts to secure the more stringent court rulings, to exclude specific individuals from the town's confines, and to establish a citizens' committee comprised of reform-minded individuals tasked with monitoring the streets. In June of 1877, Ed Masterson took on the role of assistant marshal in Dodge City. In that same eventful year, Ed's younger brother, Bat Masterson, ascended to the position of undersheriff, eventually becoming the sheriff in January of 1878. Tragedy struck on April 9, 1878, when Ed Masterson met his demise in a gunfight. Another Masterson sibling, James, was enlisted into the ranks of the Dodge City Police Force in June 1878. By the late 1870s, Dodge City's reputation for lawlessness had spread as far as Washington, D.C. In a letter in the Washington, D.C.'s Evening Star of January 1, 1878, stated, Dodge City is a wicked little town. The year 1878 welcomed the arrival of Doc Holliday in Dodge City, accompanied by Big Nose Kate, who posed as his spouse. Taking up residence in room 24 of the Dodge House, Doc's days were primarily filled with imbibing and gambling. He provided professional services to the townspeople. Soon after his arrival, an advertisement graced the pages of the Dodge City Times announcing Dentistry, J.H. Holliday, dentist, very respectfully offers his professional services to the citizens of Dodge City and surrounding country during the summer. Office at room number 24 Dodge House. Where satisfaction is not given, money will be refunded. Much of his time was devoted to card dealing at the Long Branch Saloon and was gambling at the Alhambra. Though Dodge City citizens thought the friendship between Wyatt and Doc was strange, Wyatt ignored them, and Doc dutifully upheld the law during his time in the town. Come September of 1879, Virgil Earp dispatched a message to Wyatt, apprising him of the burgeoning prospects in Tombstone. Spurred by this news, Wyatt headed west with Doc Holliday following shortly thereafter. By January 1880, Bat Masterson also left Dodge City for the west. The year 1880 marked the arrival of the Santa Fe Railroad, symbolizing the demise of the Santa Fe Trail and the many travelers passing through Dodge City. The confinement of Native American populations to reservations rendered the need for military presence unnecessary, leading to the closure of Fort Dodge in 1882. As 1886 rolled in, an era of cattle drives came to an end. An illustrious chapter in history drew its curtains, yet the legacy endures through Dodge City's dedication and preservation of its storied and globally renowned Old West frontier heritage. In the present day, a testament to this legacy thrives as approximately 100,000 tourists annually relive the saga, immersing themselves in the lore through visits to the Boot Hill Museum and the meticulously reconstructed historic Front Street. Located in and around the city are a number of historical sites, museums, and landmarks dedicated to Dodge City's Old West heritage. The Boot Hill Museum, located downtown, contains thousands of artifacts and a variety of exhibits portraying the culture of the city's early years. The museum's larger exhibits include Front Street, a partial reconstruction of downtown Dodge City as it existed in 1876, the Long Branch Saloon and the Long Branch Variety Show, the Saratoga Saloon, the Hardesty House, a period-typical home built in 1879, the city's original Boot Hill Cemetery, and the Kansas Cowboy Hall of Fame. The Santa Fe Trail remains, located 14 kilometers west of the city, are preserved wagon tracks from a section of the Santa Fe Trail. The Ford County Historical Society maintains the Mueller-Schmidt House, called the Home of Stone. Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.